This is a production of the Michael Parsons Trading Institute. All rights are reserved. Disclaimer required by the CFTC. If you risk it, you can lose it. ReversalMagic.com presents the Reversal Magic video course. The power to predict, the power to profit. Reversal Magic training video number 5. Making the trade. Now that we've learned about reversal magic, let's see how we would actually use it to trade the market. And we're going to look at the S&P E-mini, and today we're going to be looking at July 6, 2007, and how we would trade as the market develops. A couple of rules that we need to remind you about, and that's the first is that reversal magic is a tool. It's not going to answer all the questions related to the market. It is to enhance your entries and exits to make the most profit from the market as possible. Secondly, we need to establish a basis for the market's bias, or the trend. Now, while it is possible to use reversal magic on an advanced level to trade the extreme highs and lows, back and forth, buying and selling, that's not recommended for a beginner. A beginner, it's recommended that you stay with the direction of the overall trend. And if you look at this overall trend, well, this is up, meaning that we want to buy at the lows, and we want to exit at the highs. Buy at the lows, exit at the highs. The reason for this is because the market tends to be more robust in the direction of the overall trend. And therefore, that means the easiest amount of profit with the least amount of stress. So how do you establish the trend? Well, there are a number of ways you can do that. There are many tools to establish it, but basically, if you don't know, it's simply a matter higher highs and higher lows establish the direction of the trend, or lower lows and lower highs establish the direction of the trend. So in this case we have an uptrend because everything's proceeding higher. In this case we have a downtrend because everything's proceeding lower. The trend is a matter of perspective, so it depends on how large of a swing you're looking at as establishment of the trend. For example, this overall direction is up, but this part is up while this part is down. So it's a matter of how much of the market you're looking at. So you have to establish some parameters. One of the best ways to establish a parameter is that of using a trend line or channel line, as you see here in the blue line. Now, we're not going to go into a lot of details of how to use all these tools to determine the trend. The key is simply to use something to establish which direction the market is favoring. That being the case, we're currently looking at an overall uptrend because you can see where we're finding support here, and the uptrend is continuing. Now, even if this market pulls back or continues the motion or the direction, we're still looking at a point where we can buy and then exit because the overall trend is upward. Okay, so now you've established the direction of the trend, which in this case is upward. What then? Well, obviously you want stronger reversals, so the easiest way to accomplish that is first off looking at a higher time frame or a larger chart to establish where those stronger reversals are. Now, what I've done here is that because I'm going to be trading this in a 1 minute, I'm going to look at a higher time frame to locate stronger reversals. In this case, we're looking at a 10-minute chart. And on this 10-minute chart, I've established that there are 4 reversals that I can determine before the day even opens. Now, that's not to say these are the only reversals that will show up. Likely there will be others because 10 minute is, well, it's small enough of a time frame that others will tend to show up. But these 4 I already have established as a starting point or starting reference. These reversals I'm going to be using to help me to establish the best possible entries and exits. For example, if the 10 o'clock that you see here is a low, well, then I have a buy point, and I can buy and hold on to the market until it reaches the next reversal, whether that's the 12:10 reversal or one in between that shows up. That being the case, that would be used as an exit. If the 10 o'clock is a high, well, then I'm not going to use it to enter. In fact, rather, I'm going to skip that point and not trade it at all. And I'm going to wait for the next reversal in case that's a buy or a low. Now, if either one of these reversals are lows, then what I'm going to do is take that zone, the 10-minute zone that we're dealing with, and drop down to the 1 minute and find a reversal that matches within that zone. And that's what I'm going to use for an entry or an exit. In other words, because this says 10 o'clock and this chart shows the ending time, in other words, we have actually 9:50 to 10 o'clock is the time that we're looking at here, then I'm going to be going down to the period between 9:50 and 10 o'clock and look for a strong reversal on the 1 minute time frame. And that's going to establish my signal to enter or exit the market. So now that we've established this principle follows through no matter what time frame you're actually trading. If you're trading, for example, the daily time frame, such as a market such as coffee or corn, well then the fact is that you can go to a weekly or monthly chart and determine reversals to find stronger reversals. It doesn't mean you're going to ignore any reversal on the daily time frame. But by utilizing those higher time frames, you will end up with a stronger reversal, and it'll be much easier to make a robust profit. And so that's what we're going to do. As this market begins to on its open and starts to trade, we're going to look at what happens and see if this 10 o'clock is a low or a high. If it looks like it's going to be a low, then we're going to be setting up a buy. If it looks to be a high, well, we're going to skip it and see if we can find another reversal before the 12:10 or wait till the 12:10 reversal occurs. So as this market begins its open, we're going to come back at 10 o'clock because we're not going to do anything until we get close to that time because we need to establish whether it's a high or low. And that being the case, we have a little time to work with. In other words, we're not doing anything till we're close to that time. But about 9:45, give us a few minutes before that 9:50 to 10 o'clock range. We're going to look at the market and determine whether the 10 o'clock reversal here will establish a high or a low. So let's come back a little later, giving the market some time to develop. As we return to the chart, we can see that it's definitely proceeding lower. We're setting up lower lows, and it looks like our 10 o'clock reversal will be a low. That being the fact that we definitely are looking at it as a buy opportunity. So however low we're going to draw down here, this is a point of entry because our market is an uptrend, and we're looking to buy on the reversal lows and exit on reversal highs. So what we need to do now, having established a stronger reversal, we're going to go down to a 1 minute time frame and look at the zone, which in this case actually runs from 9:50 to 10 o'clock, and find a reversal that is in that zone that shows some strength. And we're going to use it to enter the market or buy the market and wait until the next reversal, which is at currently 12:10. There may be another one that shows up that we'll determine on the 10 minute. But we are looking so far at 12:10 as the ending reversal, and we're going to manage the trade using the 1 minute reversals as they develop as well. And we're going to show you how to do that. But right now, this establishes that we have a buy setting up. And so let's go to the 1 minute chart and see where we would enter the market. Okay, now that we know our reversal is running from 10 o'clock, or in this chart system 9:50 to 10 because it's the ending time, we need to find the zone. So 9:50 to 10 o'clock, we're looking at a reversal sometime in that period. So we need to find a reversal that fits that zone. So let's see if we can find one real quick. Well, we have the time. We have a nice pattern here. None of that seems to be within the zone. That's outside the zone. So we'll look for another one. It looks like a nice low here, so we will go with this one. Nice pattern here off the pattern. And we have one right here. So here we have what we need. So let's take these lines off, and then we'll set this reversal here, and we'll take off the other lines, and we will look at a potential buy here in this location for low. So as we get close to it, we'll come back in just a moment when the reversals due. Now as we approach a reversal, we're looking at a potential buy, and it seems like everything's on track because it is moving lower. What we're looking for, since this is moving downward, is a low, probably around the same lows as what we see here. If it is a high, then obviously we will not be taking the buy, because then it would be high, and that would indicate that the market is still moving lower. So all we're doing here now is just waiting for this to come in, and when it does, we will do a buy. Now, so we're patiently waiting, and so far it looks like a buy. We can actually go ahead and do a buy now because it's right on the line, and when it comes in, we definitely have a low here. So what we're going to do is do a buy, and we'll come back in just a few minutes and see the end result. As we look at our trade, so far it's perfect. Our reversal was perfect. It's now moving up off of that. We're still within this channel, and we haven't broken that channel yet, so we need to see how it's going to respond, whether it's going to start moving higher at this point or consolidate for a little while. But so far reversal's working out well, and we'll come back in a few minutes to see how we progressed. And as you can see, we're still moving very strongly to the upside, and we're going to stick with this to the 1150 reversal that we are looking at on the 10-minute time frame, unless another one happens to show up before then. But so far so good. As we return to the 10-minute, you can see that the market is definitely working in our favor, and it's responded off of the reversal that we have at 10 o'clock, as we see right here. So far our trade is doing well, and we're going to see how it develops from here and return a little later. Okay, we want to take a look at the chart again on the 10-minute, because we've set it on the low and we started to proceed a little higher, and so we're now looking at the market with a potential reversal that's established, and we're going to check where that reversal will be at. And so far it looks like we have an intersection that's a little earlier than what it was, than our 12 o'clock 12:10, excuse me, reversal. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. If that is a high, then we will need to use that as an exit point, and this is 1150, so let's set 1150 in our time, and if it is low, then we can maintain our position. But we're going to be looking at that a little later and establishing whether we need to respond to that when it arrives. But this is one of the aspects. A new reversal showed up, and we need to monitor that, and that's going to impact our trade. So it's an important information to manage our trade. As we return to the market, it looks like our 1150 reversal will be a high, and so we're going to use this as an exit. Now, even though we don't have much time between that and the 12:10 reversal, on a 1 minute it'll probably stand out, so we're going to use it as a signal exit, and if the 12:10 reversal is a low, we'll look to re-enter the market there as well. Sometimes maybe a double top, but in any case we have our signal to exit coming up, and so therefore we're going to use it to exit the market. So we need to go down to the 1 minute to locate that reversal or that point of exit. Okay, we have another reversal at 1150, so that's running from 1140 to 1150, and so then we're going to look for one there. We have a nice pattern right here, a very nice pattern, and it looks like we're a little early with that. I'm going to mark that because that's still a substantial reversal, and we're going to expect something at that signal because of the pattern that we see here. Nice large pattern here, and as we get to the zone that we're looking at, let's see if we can locate another reversal. Let's see, it looks like we may have one here that we can intersect, and that's within the range. So we can go ahead and mark that one and get these other lines out of the way. And the 1140 and 1150 line can come off. So we're going to see what happens at those times when they arrive. Alright, now we're coming up on this reversal. It was a nice pattern here, and it looks like it's going to be a high. We may pop down here for low, but if it's a high, I'm going to look to exit there, even though it's a little early of the 1140 to 1150 reversal, simply because it is such a nice pattern. And if it's a strong pattern, then don't ignore it. Sometimes these bars on will have a tendency to overlap two bars, and so if you have a nice pattern, you don't want to avoid that. And it looks like it's going to be a high, so we're going to go ahead and mark that for an exit, and we'll see what happens when it arrives. And then we'll come back and look at the reversal that we have here as well. You can see how beautifully our reversal signal was naturally, because it was such a nice pattern. And we're declining off of that, and we're coming up to this reversal. It looks like this might be either a minor high compared to the main high, or a double top at best. In any event, we're a little early, but that's okay. I mean, sometimes these bars are going to overlap on a reversal, so a reversal signal may be a little early, maybe a little late, but it's looking in that zone is what you're looking for, closest to that zone. If you find a nice pattern just before, just after, you can still work with it, because the reversals tend to overlap one or two bars, and so you have to look at the patterns themselves and find the best reversal. And as we approach this reversal, well, since we've already exited, we're not looking to do anything, simply because we've already come to a higher time frame reversal, so the expectation is for a decline. We're not looking to buy, even if this was a low, because overall it should still decline. Instead, we would only use it for an exit, nothing more. And since we've already exited over here, well, then all we're going to do is observe to see exactly what happens when it reaches this. As we look at the market, we can see how well it's responding off those reversals. Even here, it formed a small minor high, and now it's declining off of that, which is to be expected with a higher time frame reversal. From here, we're looking at overall a market that, for our trade, even if we're conservative, we're still looking at approximately $400+ per contract trade for the morning. So that's not too bad for the activity that we're looking at. In the overall picture here, we will be looking at the market and its decline for the next reversal on the 10-minute to see where we find another low to look at a re-entry point. If it breaks the trend line, then we will turn around and look at it the opposite direction and look for a reversal high in order to sell the market. But currently, right now, we're still dealing with a trend line. Even here on the lower time frame, we're still dealing with a trend line, so we haven't even quite broken that yet. But the focus is on the 10-minute and what it's doing in order to trade it on the 1-minute. And so we're going to come back when we have a 10-minute reversal that we can use. As we can see, the market definitely reversed off our 1150 reversal, and we have a potential buy here at 1210 because it's proceeding lower. Now right now we have what's called a doji bar, and we need to be cautious when we see that, because they tend to be continuation patterns. Sometimes they're low, but we need to see how this reversal is going to develop. This whenever you see a doji bar, be cautious. See if the next bar, our reversal bar, is going to be lower, as low or lower, or if it's going to be higher, because it's going to establish whether we're dealing with a high or low reversal. So be cautious when you see this mark. But right now it does look like it might be a buy opportunity to re-enter the market at 1210. So let's go down to the 1-minute and find that reversal. As we look at the 1210 reversal, I've already marked the zone with these dotted lines, 12 o'clock to 12:10. We need to find a lower time frame reversal. Now I've gone through this, and the only ones I really can find that are decent are these sets of points, and they're not real big, not real strong, but it's the only ones that the best looking ones that I can find here. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Now, because we're potentially looking at a doji bar on a higher time frame, the 10-minute chart, we need to be careful about what we have here and what it ends up as far as whether this reversal is a high or low. So we're going to need to take that in consideration. And so if it's a high, obviously we are not looking to sell the market. We're only waiting for a low to buy because this was coordinated with the higher time frame. So we're going to see what happens and wait it out till we get to that reversal point. It looks like this reversal is going to be a high, so therefore we're not looking to do anything here. We're going to skip this trade because it's likely to decline from here and just move to a lower position. And we're not looking to short this market because of the upward bias and upward trend. We're only looking to sell, so therefore we'll just remain neutral here to the next reversal. As we look at the market, we can clearly see that we're ending up with a reversal high, not a low. It didn't even match the doji bar as far as the low is concerned, and we're proceeding higher. So the anticipation here is that the market will start to move lower, probably to this 1320 reversal. So therefore, we cannot use it as a buy opportunity. Rather, if we're an advanced trader, then we can use it to short the market, but it's not recommended that as a beginner you do that. So this is really a trade that we would skip, waiting for the next reversal to enter or take advantage of. As we do a quick check on what the market's done since our reversal, you can see that it's declined as expected. We did spike up here initially for a moment. Don't be too concerned when you see that. On trade management, you have to look at the closes and how it responds. Obviously we had a high here and it had additional spike here, but it didn't extend or close anything higher than the high of the prior reversal. And so focus on that. Don't focus on just the spikes. As we look at the market, we're looking at the next reversal at about 1310, within that range. And so we've got some time because it's only that's almost 45 minutes before then. So we have time to get some lunch. So we're going to break here and come back at the next reversal and look at a potential trade then. You can see how the market has responded off of the reversal high and the preceding lower. A very powerful move so far. Having said that, we need to determine the next reversal because there is another reversal showing up here, and so we're going to take advantage of this time or break to actually determine the next reversal. And this one's right close, but after the reversal for right after the 1320, and this is at 1350. So we're going to be looking at 1350 a little later to see what we have. But right now the market is proceeding lower, and so we're not looking to buy until we get to another reversal. Our 1320 reversal looks like it is a high, so therefore we're still not looking at any trade at the moment because the anticipation is for this market to move lower. Our 1350 is our next available reversal. We'll come back to see if that's a low and whether or not we can buy into the market again. Again, because it's in an uptrend, we only want to buy and exit. We do not want to sell. As we get ready for our 1350 reversal, we can see that we formed a higher in the 1320 reversal, but since then it's been more of a triangle pattern, consolidating and shrinking. So it's a little hard in this type of situation to tell whether we have a high or low. So what we're looking for is a little bit lower price to establish a buy or a low reversal, or a little higher price to establish that it's a high and that we skip the trade. If necessary, we can wait for the next bar, and whichever way it breaks confirms the direction of the reversal and the direction of the market. But we don't really want to have to do that if it's not necessary. We'd rather get it on the very reversal signal possible. So if we have a lower price, we'll buy. If not, well, we'll skip this. What we need to do now, though, is go down to the 1 minute and see if we can determine the most accurate point of reversal, and that will make it a little easier to determine which way this market's going to go. Since our 1320 reversal ends up being a high and therefore a trade we're not going to take, since we're looking to buy only in this market, we can now focus on the 1350 reversal. And I've already marked this with dotted lines from 1340 to 1350. And we need to find a reversal that fits within that zone that's going to allow us to buy if it's a low. And looking at this, I've gone through a couple of places for a reversal, and I've got a nice one here that's within the zone, and there's a smaller one, not as great, but still a reversal nonetheless, a signal right here. So we have two reversals to work with. The first one, which would be the larger one that we see here, would be the preferred one. We're not sure which will be a low, but if the first one is a high rather than low, then we'll see if the second one is a low. But that's basically what we have to work with, and so we're going to have to wait to see what happens. In the meantime, we'll clear some of these lines that we don't need anymore and take off the zone lines, and then we'll return when it's time for this reversal or one of these reversals to occur. The market's definitely proceeding lower, so it looks like we're going to set up a buy on this reversal, and as long as it's a low, it doesn't pop up here, we're going to use it as a buy point. And the second one we may just use as a trade management reversal if anything out of the ordinary occurs. But right now it looks like we have our buy signal coming in. As we can see, the reversal has responded with the market moving higher. We did drop just a moment ago, and we have the secondary reversal acting as a low, which is a good sign, so it should send it further back up. So as far as anything is concerned, everything looks good, and the secondary reversal will send the market higher. But let's see how it responds in the next few minutes. As you can see, the market is responding nicely off the reversals moving higher, and we hope that's going to continue to move higher. But it does have a trading range here. There might be an issue causing the market to bounce back and forth. If it does bounce off the ceiling, well, then we will consider what we might do at that point. But right now the focus is on the higher time frame reversal and what it's going to do when that arrives. And so we're going to stick with this trade unless something unusual in the market condition develops, like a consolidation. Returning to the 10-minute, we can see that it definitely was a reversal low, and the market's confirming with the following bar by moving higher. If necessary, if you can't tell on this particular bar, well, breaking higher would establish that the market is moving upward. So a buy can be established just at the breakout. But it's clear that we have a low, and so we have a buy, and we're back in the market for a long. Before we get any farther, we do need to determine another reversal that has shown up, and that's off of these two lows and this high, which gives us a reversal due right here, and that is at 1530. So we're going to put a marker on here at 1530, and that will be a reversal we will keep an eye on as it develops. So as we do that, we're going to go back to the 1 minute and monitor this trade and see how it develops. As we approach the 1530 reversal, it looks like it's going to be a high, so we're going to look for an exit now on the 1 minute time frame in preparation for this high and a change in market direction. Our next reversal of focus on the 10-minute time frame is the 1530 reversal, and we can see that I've marked the zones from 1520 to 1530, and that's where we're going to be looking at. Now, going through this, setting the reversals, this is a nice pattern here with this whole trend, and we have a reversal right here that's in the zone, and that's the only one so far that I can locate. So at the 1528. That's the time so far that we have for the reversal. When we arrive to that zone, if any more show up, then we'll take a look at them as well. But for now, we will focus on that 1528 time. I'll check back to see if there's other reversals, but currently that's what we have to work with. As I look at this reversal, it's obvious that the market's moving down. It's going to be a low, and unless it pops up here out of the ordinary, I think we're missing a reversal. Either it was back here or it's slightly out of the zone later. And the next one available that I can locate that's good is one off of this point rather than this point, so it extends it out a little further, and that's a couple of bars later, not that far out of the zone, 1533, so certainly close enough. And we're going to see what happens. If it starts to drop, we'll exit. But if this is a low and it bounces back up, then we'll wait for this reversal to actually get out of the market, because that's obviously the reversal we need. And this is nice because it has a nice pattern to work with. It's just extended on the end of the other low here to create the reversal. So let's see how this works. Trade management here, a low, so it's expected to go high, so we can get a better price out of this. If it drops any lower, then we'll just exit at the break. It looks like we made a good move here. That was a low and it has proceeded higher, so it looks like we have an even better price for an exit. So we're going to exit here off of this reversal and mark it for an exit and take our profits at this point, because it looks like it's going to be a high, and that's what we want to find on the reversals. To match the direction of the trade, whether it be entry or exit. And as you can see, the market's declining off of the reversal. Beautiful exit and a great profit opportunity. This one approximately valued at $275 or thereabouts. So a nice little trade and a great opportunity for anyone who was using reversal magic as a tool for trading. And it's just as simple. Find the more powerful reversals and then refine them to fit or suit your trading time frame and trading style. And there's nothing really complex about it. You're looking for an entry that fits the direction of the trend, and you're looking for an exit. Don't try to trade both ways, particularly as a beginner. Take advantage of the prevailing trend. If it's an uptrend, then buy on the low, exit on the high, and if it's a downtrend, sell on the high and exit on the low. And it's just that simple to profit with reversal magic. As we come back at the end of the day, you can see that the market's responding very well off that reversal. Now, our 1530 bar was a bar early, but it's still part of this reversal high, and it's declining nicely off of that, so it established a great exit opportunity or position for us, and so a great trade, and a fine example again of how this powerful tool reversal magic is so wonderful and useful in trading. We have a reversal of 1600, but this market closes at 1615, and so 15 minutes is not enough time to really do much, and so typically I avoid trades like this. But we'll come back at the end of the day to see what it actually does, and in case somebody would have been interested in trading that. It looks like it will be a low and a potential buy opportunity. But as what we've seen so far, great profit day using the tool of reversal magic. And as we come back for the end of the day, we can see that the reversal at 1600 was a low, great buy opportunity. Of course, not much time to work with, so it didn't move up very high, but for someone who really wants to take advantage of even these narrow trades, there certainly was an opportunity here. But that ends the day, and you can see how effective the method and technique actually is. Reversal Magic Trading Video number 5, Making the Trade. This is a production of the Michael Parsons Trading Institute. All rights are reserved.